Hello, my name is Carol E. Bull, and I'm the head of the Department of Plant Pathology and Environmental Microbiology. And I'm here to talk to you about how to write letters of recommendation. To start your letter, you want to introduce yourself and the student. It's best to give an introduction to how you know the student, what the context is. Is it in a lab? Is it in a class? Is it a research project? Explain the length of time that you've known the student, and put that in the context of all the students that you've known in the past. Make sure that the reader understands what your ability to evaluate the student's performance is based on your experience. Another thing you're going to want to do is to make comparisons of this student to the other students that you've known. First, you have to put it in context and say how many students you've worked with in a similar capacity, and then you might say something like, this student is in the top 1% of the 40 students that I've worked with in my laboratory. And then give explanations of why you think that way. Explain the context for which you're giving that evaluation. There are two important things that you must do when you're writing a letter of recommendation for these top-end fellowships and grants. First, you must understand the fellowship and grant that the student is applying for. Please read the RFA or the call for proposals for the particular grant or fellowship and gear your letter directly to that grant and that fellowship. You want to pick out the key points that they're looking for, make broad statements about what the student is doing to meet those, and then give particulars and details about how the student is really meeting those particular objectives. Near the end of the letter, I like to talk about the big picture of who this student is and how they're going to make a difference. I like to talk about how the investment by this agency will be multiplied by the activities of this student. Generally, students know where they're going at this point, and they understand how they're going to add to scholarship and outreach into the community. Finally, shoot for a recommendation letter that is 1 to 2 pages in length. Short recommendation letters signal to the committee that you're not very interested in the student or you don't know them very well. This should be easy to do if you think about the fellowship and you think about the student and put those two pieces together with lots of details to support the claims you're making about their ability to live up to the fellowship and scholarship they're applying for. Most of all, be enthusiastic and let it show.